My name is Dr. Evelyn Akech. I work with Public Services International in charge of English-speaking East, West and Central Africa. Now, we've always been celebrating International Women's Day and under a generic theme. However, we know that among the women, we have a number of workers, both within the informal and formal sector. So we asked ourselves, how do we amplify the workers' voices who are women through a special celebration? Because normally when you have the meeting for the International Women's Day, we have these generic issues being handled. But we realize that when you're a woman worker, you have peculiar challenges beyond just domestic issues that we need to talk about. So we felt as Public Service International, together with NO2 and COF2, to have the maiden. That is the first ever workers' women celebration in the whole of Uganda. And we felt there's always need to start an innovation so that subsequent years, as we come as workers, especially the women fraternity, we're able to appreciate what are our challenges. What laws does the government put in place to ensure that if a woman is going to work, they work in an environment that is free of violence and also provides gender equality. Let's not forget that the theme of the UN for 2025 is issues of accelerating gender equality for sustainable future. Uganda boasts of over 51% of the population being women. Within the informal sector, majority of them are actually women. And within the public service, we realize that the public service actually employs more women compared to private sector. But we know society, every time you go to work, there's different type of people you actually meet. You have to combine work. You also have to combine domestic stress. So I wanted to appreciate how do women navigate these two worlds, ensuring that you balance your work life, at the same time your home life, but at the same time ensuring that you are not subjected to either violence or harassment because you're actually a woman. We must appreciate that the terrain of work is always quite dynamic. Dynamic in that every time people live in society, there's always going to be tendency of deviant behaviors, either intentionally or non-intentionally. But as we celebrate the women and talk about how do you accelerate gender equality, one of the things we must be cognizant of that always hampers women active participation and productivity in any workplace is actually violence and harassment in the world of work. And violence comes in so many places. Sometimes people only talk about sexual harassment. There's one which is inadvertent that people never realize, which is psychological harassment, which may also include seclusion from work, being denied work opportunity, being denied trips, among others. So being able to address the entirety of what we mean holistically, what we mean by violence and harassment, beyond that small angle that people always talk about of sexual harassment, enables women to learn how to deal with mental health. Now, globally, it is actually appreciated that many workers are going through mental health as a result of workplace stress. So being able to balance your work life and family is very important if you're going to have a steady health and psychological well-being, to be able to be productive, not only to the population and the community, but also to your employers as well.
I want to thank Public Service International and the Labour Confederations, NO2 and COF2, for coming together to celebrate this very important day. Belatedly, Women's Day is being celebrated here at Weyogerere, King's Park. And the theme is basically to see that at least the issues of equality on the girl child and the like are handled. I want first of all to thank the government of Uganda for coming up with women emancipation programs, which have actually helped bring women into limelight. And basically we want to ask for more to ensure that at least equality, as enshrined in Article 20, Article 21, Article 29, Article 40, Article 33, and all those other provisions are put into action. Currently, Uganda has ratified the C-190 on violence and harassment against women, especially in the places of work. And I think we urge government to ensure that at least issues we call carpet interviews, sex for marks, and all those things are handled and tackled, because they undermine the dignity of a woman, and a woman is a mother of the nation, so that's very important. So as we celebrate today, we are ensuring that at least issues of financial inclusion are tackled by government, as has been done. We know that under PDM, women have a percentage, but we want to ask for more. And of course, under GROW, it was meant to promote women who are in enterprise, but I think we need to harmonize a few things to ensure that it works well. So this celebration is important because women are coming together in the world of work. We have over 50 labor unions and 2 confederations which have come together We're under PSI, which has actually initiated this. This is very important because PSI is one of the biggest confederation in the globally, which is in over 160 countries. And we are coming up to ensure that at least issues of climate change. For example, when you look at issues of health, Uganda currently has maternal mortality rate and child deaths of about 360 per 1,000. This should be mitigated to zero, because when this happens, it means it's reducing on our chances of transiting into a middle income status. Then the other one, we have deaths in Africa globally. In Africa, in the region of Africa, over 600 women die due to fuel smoke as a result of firewood. Uganda as a country, we don't know the number specifically, but we need to introduce on this, so that at least we have the number of women reduced due to that other cause of death reducing. That's very important. All these are very important programs, but I think we want to urge the government to continue really ensuring that women take a center stage, because financial inclusion programs should come up, and then we must ensure that at least violence against women, especially in the world of work, are mitigated and handled adequately. We should have women safety committees in every workplace. And the other one, of course, we should negotiate on issues of equality. For example, when we talk of the Public Service National Negotiating Machinery, Public Act of 2008, incident there is that I think people should negotiate their wages. These instances of where a woman is actually chased from the worker because she has gone on maternity leave should not arise, or cutting their salary because they are on maternity leave. Undermines the integrity of women and dignity. All those should be fought urgently by government.
My name is Okelo Musa. I am the Chairman General of the National Organization of Trade Unions. I also double as General Secretary of the National Union of Educational Institutions, which takes all public universities in Uganda. And so we want women to speak for themselves today and address the issues of harassment, issues of sexual imbalance, sexual discrimination, issues of occupational safety and health for women at work. Those are the things we want to discuss today, and we have invited all workers, members of parliament to be present today. We've also invited as many as possible workers, councillors in the districts to come and address the women today on those issues. Sexual harassment does not refer to rape, for example. It refers to, for example, discrimination in terms of promotions, discrimination in terms of appointments, but even in terms of interviews. In most cases, men are given priority against women. Those are the things we refer to as sexual harassment, not directly rape and things. But when a woman applies for a job and a man applies for a job, they must compete for it favorably, so that when the woman is qualified for a job, then she should get the job. It doesn't have to be whether she's a woman or not. What matters is that she qualifies for the job.
My name is Virunji Annette, the Secretary for Women NOTU, but also the board member, National Social Security Fund. I'm also the youngest General Secretary in the Labour Movement. Today, we are looking at women empowerment and gender equality. Today, we have sat together to discuss the issues affecting women. But my advice to the women, please let us support ourselves before we support any other person. We need the space. We need the power. We need authority. We need the voice. So if you start by supporting men before you support yourselves, why do you think there is affirmative action? There are 5 members of parliament. I think it would have been better if we got 3 positions and the men are given 2, and if we compete and they also get another one, that is okay. But women today, we request you that please choose leaders that are going to bring glory to labor movement, leaders that are going to sensitize us about what labor movement is, so that we join the union. Choose leaders that are going to be there for you. Today we've been here as women. How many members of parliament were here? We were here, so many of the women. So you have to look for leaders that will prioritize you. We have been here the whole day, but we were with only 1 member of parliament. So we need leaders that are going to give us support. We need leaders that will champion our issues. And in 2026, I request that when you are voting the leaders, look at those leaders that will champion the bills, the policies, more so that will champion unity. United we stand, divided we fall. And the moment you are not united, you cannot proceed anywhere. We need to be together, we need to work together.
Action. The time for action is now. Investing in women is not just a moral imperative, it is an economic and social necessity. When we empower women, we strengthen families, communities, and the nation as a whole. Let us reaffirm our commitment to a Uganda where every woman and girl has equal opportunities to strive free from violence, discrimination, and economic barriers. I thank you all for dedication to gender equality, and I look forward to working together to accelerate progress for women in Uganda, for God and my country. Honorable Beta Amon, Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development. Thank you.
Request you, when our members of parliament bring issues, when you bring our issues, please support us. These are your very people. Please support. We also want to request you to push for some funding for trade unions. Because other countries, the trade unions are in the budgets of the country, of their countries. How about Uganda? So when our members of parliament bring a budget for women, for workers of Uganda, please assist us to ensure that that budget is passed. Because we always want to build capacity to our women and all our workers in this country to ensure that there is proper productivity. Help us to get that budget too. Also want to thank all our partners, our honorable members of parliament. We are here today because of Public Service International. Can we give Public Service International first a very good hand clap?
Audio Jungle.